Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Langston Golf Course. My name is Kerry Davis. I'm the athletic director here at Howard University. What began as a random conversation between two young people passionate about the game of golf has ended up here, the announcement of one of the most generous gifts in the history of Howard University. To talk more about that, I want to bring up the man who sets the strategy and who sets the goals for not only our athletic department, but the university as a whole. Our 17th president, Dr. Wayne A.I. Frederick.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us today. Today is obviously a historic opportunity for not just Howard, but I think all historically black colleges and universities. One of the things that we've been trying to do at Howard is to make the case that Howard University, like many of our HBCUs, have really given this country a significant return on investment. And one of the things that we're asking the country as a whole to do is to reinvest in us. And I think that that reinvestment is going to pay big dividends. Howard University was founded on March 2nd, 1867. And that act of Congress that started this university was a very ambitious start. This university was founded 5 years after Freedman's Hospital was put on Howard's campus to basically give freed slaves a place to go get health care. And that emerged into a bigger opportunity for freed slaves to be educated. And not just educated, but educated at the highest level possible. And so everything that we've been doing has been focused on that. Howard University has produced more African-American physicians than any other institution in this country. And if you look over the past 50 years at all of the black graduates at Harvard's MBA, their number one supplier of those black graduates was Harvard College. Number two was Howard University. There's no field in this country that Howard University doesn't diversify. So what we do as an academic institution is critical. And athletics here at Howard University is extremely important. My freshman year, my first semester, I got to manage the soccer team. And we went all the way to the Division I Final Four. So my introduction to sports at Howard University as well was at the highest level. So as you can imagine, in the spring, when March Madness started, I turned on the TV looking for Howard. Unfortunately, they weren't there just yet. But when I hired Kerry, I told him clearly that that's where we need to be. So we clearly are making a strong investment. And so today, for instance, my best friend is here, Shaka Hislop, who played on that team, that 1988 team that went to the Division I Final Four and played in the championship game. He graduated from the engineering school, third in his class, interned at NASA, and played 14 years in the English Premiership for teams like Newcastle and Reading. So clearly an elite athlete. Played in MLS for 2 years and now is an ESPN broadcaster. Probably the most important accomplishment he has is an executive MBA that I got the chance to sign as president. Although his kids think it was graffiti on his degree, but that's how it goes. So we're here because of this investment that we want to make. So I want to take an opportunity, as much as we're going to talk about golf, I want to take an opportunity to mention a couple of things. We have our tennis coach here today, Larry Strickland, and come January 1st, 2020, by the grace of God, he would have coached at Howard University in 5 different decades. and in every decade would have sent an academic All-American, produced an academic All-American. So Nick Askew is here today as well. He's our head coach for swimming and diving. We have the only swim team at an HBCU right now in the country. So I also want to thank Nick for what he does. David Oliver is here, my director of track and field. And David himself is an Olympian, won a medal, not just any medal, but won the championship in the Olympics. And so we're thankful for what David does. Again, another elite coach and an elite athlete that we have here at the university. Our women's volleyball made it to the playoffs the last 2 years, and I think continues to have a very strong team. So I thank Sean for his leadership of that program as well. And
4 years.
oh, 4 years in a row. I'm sorry. 4 years in a row. Yeah, he probably is going to duck my pay for that. So 4 years in a row. So I want to thank Sean for that. And our newest member of the coaching staff is here, Kenny Blakeney from the men's basketball team. I got a chance to go to Spain this weekend and watch them play. They played in Barcelona twice and won, and then they played in Valencia on Saturday night and won. And I got to tell you, Mr. Curry, I hope that you're playing long enough because a couple of the members of his team could probably join your team. So we're thankful for him. I want to also address Mr. Curry. You know, we had a very interesting time in our country and our nation's history. There's no doubt about that. There's a lot for us to be cynical about, a lot for us to be disappointed by, especially in terms of the rhetoric. But one of the things that I think we all must make sure that we double down on is investing in the people who invest in us. And one of the things that we have to take pause today amongst everything else that's happening is to realize that Mr. Curry represents what is great about America. If you want to talk about American greatness and you want to talk about what Americans should be doing regardless of their station in life, I think you just need to look at what Mr. Curry has been doing off the court. We're not even talking about on the court. When he brought Emmanuel to Howard, it was an emotional night. But his investment, meeting his mom, seeing his family's investment in that project was unbelievable. And then again today, there's so many other things that he could be doing today. There's so many other schools that he could be at supporting something like this today. But he chose to be here for a reason. His social activism, without political rhetoric, speaks volumes to who he is. And I hope that in all of the cynicism that we sometimes see and hear every day, we're going to take pause today to recognize that there's a lot to be happy about in this country with people like Stephen Curry around. So, Mr. Curry, I want to thank you for all that you're doing. And let me be clear, this is not just an investment in athletics. Howard's academics in our athletics program is key. The one thing that we are proud of when people ask me about our competitiveness, I make it clear. We're competitive on the field, but just as importantly, if not more importantly, we're competitive in the classroom. The young men and young women who participate in Howard Athletics are some of the brightest people you will meet, people who are out changing the country, changing the world around us. So this investment is clearly that. This is an avenue for students who otherwise wouldn't have an opportunity to attend a Howard University, to use the game of golf, to participate in that. And for that, I'm also grateful. I'm also grateful that he recognizes the value of that education. I wouldn't be here and wouldn't be able to support this effort if it wasn't for a few people I want to mention. The chair-elect of my board is here, Larry Morse, and another trustee, Don Christian, as well. Both have been very supportive of what we've been trying to do, and I'm appreciative that they're here today. Marie Johns, who many in D.C. know, is also on our board. Today is her birthday, so I also want to thank her for her support as well that she's been given to Howard University. So I told Steph that my handicap is golf. Nevertheless, I love the game, and I probably play it way too often at a poor level. But I love it because it's the one thing that I get to do with my son that puts me in complete isolation for over 4 hours. I've played, I would say, 80 to 90% of the rounds of golf I've played in my life with my son, who just turned 15. He has 2 days today as he's joining the varsity soccer team at high school, so he's going to come probably on the back nine. He's right-handed, right-hand dominant, but he plays lefty. And when he shows up, I'm going to get a knee injury so that I can make an excuse for why he's out driving me from the same tee box. But more importantly, it has given us an opportunity to share something that we can share well into the later years of my life. And also something that I could share, hopefully, with my grandchildren. And that's the thing about golf that I love. It doesn't matter what age you are, you can play the sport, and it teaches you a lot about life, about self-regulating yourself, about accountability, about responsibility. You don't have to, somebody doesn't have to see you do something for you to call that penalty on yourself. And I think golf gives a lot around the issues of integrity. And so bringing the sport to Howard as well, from a competitive point of view, is great. But another major part of this is going to be bringing the sport to several other Howard University students who can participate in it, play with their families, play with businessmen and women as well, and participate and see where deals are made. And I think that's just as critical. So with that in mind as well, I want to take the opportunity to thank Chip Brewer, who is here with us, the CEO of Callaway, for his generous support as well. So, Mr. Curry, one of the things that I think you'll be proud of is that I hope you'll get to meet every young man and woman who plays on Howard's golf team in the future. And I think you'll see what I see every day. The best advertisement for what is right about this country exists in my student body. I think when you meet those young men and women and you see what they're doing, where they're coming from, I think you're going to be very, very proud that you made this type of investment. So I want to thank you very, very much for that. The other thing I want to assure you is that Howard Athletics will always run a clean, compliant program. It will always be competitive, and I think the young men and women that will participate will always be upstanding citizens and will always do the right thing. And last but not least, I want to thank Kerry Davis, the athletic director. My vision when I brought Kerry to Howard University was to transform what we did in sports. I wanted to see the same thing I saw the first semester I was here in all of the sports teams. And one of the things I think he's done a good job is trying to manage, making sure that we give full support to every one of the teams. So I want to thank him. I want to take the opportunity as well to thank Paul Bowden and David Bennett, both of whom made this deal happen in terms of working out the details. And sometimes those folks behind the scenes, we don't give them enough recognition. So let's give a round of applause to the both of them for doing that. I understand some cameras are going to follow us for the first few holes, so I just want to make it clear the only four-letter words we're going to use are four. It's the only four-letter word we'll use. And I asked the cameras to back up. This is not the PGA. Our liability, my lawyers are here. Our liability does not translate to the court, at least not when I'm hitting. I don't know about his insurance, but when I'm hitting, you're going to give me an extra 20 yards. So thanks very much for coming out today. And again, thanks, Mr. Curry.
So one thing I've learned when I speak after the president speaks, to keep my brief short because he's such an incredible orator, it's hard to follow. But with that in mind, the person I am going to introduce next doesn't need very many words from me. There are very few people in sports who affect the world, who in effect, people talk about changing the game. He changes the world. When I was growing up, I think it was Coke or Pepsi, one of them ran, or Nike ran a commercial, I want to be like Mike. Well, now every young man who grows up, no matter what ethnicity, no matter what their stage in life is, right, they want to be like Steph, because he brings that every person quality to not just sports, but to the world. He is a 3-time NBA champion. He is a 2-time MVP, the only unanimous MVP in the history of the NBA. He is a 6-time All-Star. But more than that, he's a tech entrepreneur. He's an entertainment executive producer. He is a philanthropist, and he runs a foundation that will reach out to all of us to be as inclusive as we possibly can be. He's going to be growing golf, and not only that, but bringing it to all minority communities, which is one of the great reasons of being here and launching this event at Langston to begin with. So with that in mind, I bring you Mr. Stephen Curry.
Can I like to talk like this. This is much better. Thank you all for being here. It's a pretty exciting day, to be honest. I've been looking forward to this for a very long time, since January, I should say. Quick backstory of why we're all here. Otis Ferguson the fourth is sitting right here in the front row. Otis, stand up for him right quick. Let everybody see you. The cameras are back there. You gotta show them your face. You can stand up while I'm talking about you. So Otis is a representation of everything Dr. Frederick said about what it means to be here at Howard, be a student here. I came on campus for the first time to share a documentary we have been working on with Unanimous called Emmanuel. As I said, it's a very heavy story, has a lot of lessons and thought-provoking kind of pieces to it. And as we did our panel discussion, as soon as we were done, we had a moment where I got to share with all the students that came, and they kind of came up to the front of the stage, and I started on the left and made my way down to the right. And every student had a passion, a vision, something that was on their mind that they wanted to do to change either something at Howard, something that they wanted to do after they left school, something they wanted to do to change the world, something in the community. And hearing each and every one of their stories was empowering and encouraging in terms of just what they each were doing in their own particular lives to make a difference. Otis, we connected on golf. And in terms of our passion for the game, I think I can speak for you about what the game has taught both of us in terms of who we are, things that Dr. Frederick said as well, around accountability, around competition, discipline, all those different ideals of learning through the game of golf. And I know Otis talked about wanting to start a golf club here, and he was sitting out flyers trying to have people come to a room on Howard's campus and just get people interested in the game. But he wanted to take it to another level. And the idea around recreating Howard's golf team, turning it into a Division I program for men and women, was born on that specific night. And 7.5, 8 months later, we are here announcing the first Division I golf program for Howard University, all because of this guy right here. So y'all give it up for Otis Ferguson. All right, you can sit down now. It's extremely rewarding to be here. I know, again, what the game of golf has taught me. Obviously, I play basketball full time and have enjoyed that part of that career path. But in terms of what golf has taught me about the different places it takes you, the things it teaches you about yourself, the people that you get to play with. As you said, it's a family thing for me as well. My dad got me into the game when I was 10 years old, and a high percentage of my rounds have been with him as well. Bridging that part of my relationship with the game into creating this opportunity with Howard to provide scholarships for men and women to play the game, to go to Howard, to invest in their education, and be a part of this amazing university that I've heard so many great things about. It's just exciting to be a part of that mission, that journey, that process. And as a part of the game, it doesn't just happen because of me or Otis. We have a lot of great partners that have helped bring this to fruition. Obviously, Under Armour being a sponsor from apparel for the team. Callaway is here as well, committing to giving equipment for the teams as well. Yeah, give it up for Callaway. That's huge. That is huge. So a total team effort all the way across the board to make this a possibility. The biggest part about it that I'm excited about, not only are we creating scholarships and creating opportunity, for this program to compete in the world of golf. As a part of being on the Howard golf team, my wife and I, we just started our foundation called Eat, Learn, Play, and we're helping kids starting in the Bay Area, especially in the Oakland community, helping them eat better, learn more, and create safe places for them to play in terms of their active lifestyles. Part of being on the Howard golf team is there's going to be a requirement to volunteer a certain amount of time here in the local DC area through programs in those 3 areas. So it kind of goes full range into developing the total person, obviously from an athletics perspective, from an educational perspective, and from a philanthropic perspective. So I'm extremely happy to bring part of what makes me who I am, my family as well, to that program, and just excited. I'm going to be following every part of the journey as we go into next year when the team takes the course for the first time. But this is a big day, so hopefully the news spreads amazingly. Hopefully we create opportunities for those men and women who are going to be the first on this golf team to make this an every year thing where we're competing at a very high level. And just excited being here at Langston. Thank you for hosting us. I know the true history here in terms of golf and the connection with the community. So I'm just excited. I'm ready to get this thing started off with a bang. And again, Otis talks about speaking things into an existence, not knowing if it's going to happen or not. There's a lesson in that. So thank you for doing that. This is going to go way beyond the game of golf, way beyond Howard. And this is huge. So thank y'all for including me, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you very much.
We are going to pause and get official photos in just a second, but we do want to give our professional press an opportunity to ask some questions.
You want to have that from there?
Yeah, Otis wants to say something.
All right. I mean, they pretty much summed everything up. To be honest, this is an amazing opportunity, an amazing moment just to have a lot of the people who are closest to me here to see it, and just, have this moment to be here in DC and kind of have my 2 worlds, which is, the back home golf side and the DC Howard side collide, and obviously with some support from Howard as well, and a big time NBA superstar. It's unbelievable. It's awesome, and I just want to thank God, because without him, none of this would be possible. It's literally, I mean, that moment of going there to the panel or the screening, and just hearing the panel discussion, I honestly felt like I was walking into a Bible study. But it's just, that moment, I couldn't have done it on my own, couldn't have made it happen, and to see how it's come along, like he said, 7 months later, is just awesome. So I just want to thank everybody again for coming out, and look forward to seeing how this unfolds. Thank you.
I would be remiss if I didn't include a couple of other thank yous. First of all, I want to thank Steph's team from SC30. Brian Barr and Jerron Smith, you guys are terrific. You were terrific to work for, passionate, knowledgeable, reasonable. So it was really a joy to work with. I also want to thank both your PR staff. Janice Lee is representing them here. She's somewhere around, and also there she is. Absolutely, she did a terrific job. And his legal team, Scott McKinney, I believe, is here, right? And it was oftentimes lawyers get in the way of these kinds of deals. Scott was one of those people who worked hard to know that everybody had their hearts in the right place, and let's make this thing happen. So with that in mind, thank you again to my staff. You're too many to name, but you guys all know who you are, right? All getting here and working so hard while I was in Spain. I really appreciate that. And with that, I'll open it up to questions from the press.
I'm Michael Fletcher from Undefeated. A couple of technical points. How many scholarships do you envision creating for the golf team, and how much do you think it's going to cost to endow it going forward after 6 years?
Two good questions. The first is, in the beginning, we're going to start with 3 scholarships in total, 2 on the women's side and 1 on the men's side. But there might be, in the first year, we're still working through the particulars of this. There might in the first year be 2 scholarships based on a separate situation that involves Mr. Ferguson, right? But I can't get into any more details on that. With regard to the endowment, we're going to look, Steph has agreed to work with us in terms of raising the funds for the endowment so that this program can go on in perpetuity. That number could be, you know, I'm not going to put a limit on what that number is, but we're looking at somewhere between 6 to 8 million. Full scholarships, correct.
Sam Ford with Channel 7. How much is Mr. Curry putting up for this? How much does this cost?
Well, I don't like to talk about anybody else's wallet, but let me just say this. He is putting up enough that we will be able to, in the first year, hire a coach and do the necessary, spend the necessary resources to create and develop a team starting in 2021. He is also putting up enough to pay the operating expenses and the scholarship expenses for that team on both the men's and women's side for the next 5 years after that.
How much is that?
I'm not going to say how much that is. But put it like this, it's more than a little. Yes.
WHUR Radio, what's the plan to get more women involved in golf?
So that's also a very good question. One of the things that Steph was very adamant about was having gender equality and gender equity based on the program. So we will have, as a matter of fact, there'll be, again, one more women's scholarship than there'll be a men's scholarship. The idea for women's competition is they will be an independent team, probably starting out in 2021, with the hope of eventually joining the MEAC conference, should the MEAC conference gain enough institutions to host a Division I program. The MEAC does have a Division I program for men, and the men will immediately be a part of the Division I mix on the MEAC side in 2020.
Roland Martin.
A lot of professional athletes play golf. Are you hoping to also inspire them to follow your lead?
Yes, I feel like there's no secret how much golf is a passion of mine, and again, how much I've learned about the game, kind of playing basketball obviously full time, and my free time playing golf. But I hope it encourages people in terms of just being authentic about what they want to do and how they can create opportunities to give back. You don't have to force it. Opportunities can come up, but following your passions and what you can really get behind, not only your time and effort, but your money as well. Everybody's doing it a lot of different ways, and so my way is connecting golf with education with opportunity, and that's important for me.
One last question in the green.
Mark Griffin, the Afro-American newspaper. Steph, in relation to Chris Broussard's comments last week about, black players at the high school level going to HBCUs, it's kind of an extension of that. As one who didn't attend the HBCU, how important do you see that scenario in the future?
Yeah, I know Dr. Frederick probably has something to say about that, but I think I saw Chris's comments, but this is obviously in the works since January. I know Jerron, who was a Howard alum, and spoke a lot about this university as a whole and what it stands for, what it means. But again, you don't have to go to an HBCU to support it, and so for me, this is an opportunity and something following Otis's lead I wanted to get behind. And the university has done a great job of meeting me halfway on that. So there's a lot to say about the history and the uniqueness and specialness of people that that come from HBCUs that are doing, like you said, are changing the world in their own respective ways, and it's important. You want to speak on that too?
Just one comment, and that is, I think, often when this comes up, we just aren't honest about the issue. The issue is about money. You got young African American athletes who are going to be attracted to places and sports where they could be seen and where they could make it to the other level. And so, as HBCUs, we also have a responsibility to build the infrastructure so that we could convince them, we could give them that opportunity. I think one of the things that I would say, though, to those young African American athletes as well is we give them probably the best opportunity in life. While a small percentage of them will make it to the pros, the reality is all of them got to live a life, a productive life outside of the sports arena. And I don't think you get a better education outside of an HBCU. So for any student athlete considering where to go, I think HBCU is a good choice.
Thank you, everyone. At this time, we are going to pause for a second, move this podium, and get some shots for our professional photographers. After we're done with shots in here, professional photographers will be able to join us at the first hole to get a commemorative shot there. 1 second, please.
You want to check out Roland Martin Unfiltered? YouTube.com/Roland S. Martin. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. See that name right there? Roland Martin Unfiltered. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's YouTube.com/Roland S. Martin. And don't forget to turn on your notifications so when we go live, you'll know it.
Hey everybody, this is your man Fred Hammond, and you're watching Roland Martin, my man, Unfiltered.
Hi, this is Essence Atkins, and you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
Hey, yo, Peace World, what's going on? It's the Love King of R&B, Raheem Devon, and you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
Hi, my name is Brescia Webb, and you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered. Ow. Well, I like a nice filter usually, but we can be unfiltered.
What's going on? This is Tobias Trevelyan, and if you're ready, you are listening to and you are watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
What's up? I'm Lance Gross, and you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
Hi, this is Cheryl Lee Ralph, and you are watching Roland Martin Unfiltered. I mean, could it be any other way? Really? It's Roland Martin.
You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Hey fam, want to check out Roland Martin Unfiltered? The blackest show on all of digital, cable, and broadcast. Check out our audio podcast. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. Press play. You want to check out Roland Martin Unfiltered? YouTube.com/Roland S. Martin. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. See that name right there? Roland Martin Unfiltered. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Roland S. Martin. And don't forget to turn on your notifications so when we go live, you'll know it.
Hey everybody, this is Sherry Shepherd. You're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered, and while he's doing Unfiltered, I'm practicing the wobble. Yes, I am. Because Roland Martin's the one, he will do it backwards, he will do it on the side. He messes everybody up when he gets into the wobble, because he doesn't know how to do it, so he does it backwards. And it just messes me up every single time. So, I'm working on it. I got it. You got Roland Martin.
Hi, my name is LaToya Luckett, and you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Mac Wiles, and you are watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
What's up, y'all? It's Ryan Destiny, and you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
What up, Lana Well, and you are watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Hey fam, want to check out Roland Martin Unfiltered, the blackest show on all of digital, cable, and broadcast. Check out our audio podcast. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. Press play.